Welcome back. According to the National Fire Protection Agency, winter is the peak season for U.S. home fires, with cooking and heating being the leading causes. Joining us to share tips on how we can prevent a tragedy or accident from occurring is John Calloway with Wake County Fire. Thank you so much for being here. During the holidays, what are some of the tips you can give to those that will spend a lot of time in the kitchen and a lot of things that they're doing at one time, but they need to pay attention to what they're doing in that room?
Well, thank you, Eric, for inviting me. And I love to cook, and that kitchen is the centerpiece for a lot of holiday family get-togethers. And one of the issues that we have is that when we're cooking, we get distracted. And so we want to make sure that when we're cooking, that we're right there around the kitchen and the stove, and we're observing what's being cooked.
And we find every year reports of house fires due to unattended turkey fryers that tend to burn up the balcony and just spread from there. What are some of the tips to those that may be using these appliances during the holidays?
Well, thank you for asking. I brought one of the pans here to demonstrate and talk about the turkey frying. Obviously, it's very popular to cook and deep fry the turkeys. The first thing that we want to do is we want to look at location. We want to make sure that we're not cooking inside the house or under a carport where the potential fire could build up and catch something else on fire. So we want to remove it away from the house, a good 25 to 30 feet away that we want to cook with. We also want to make sure that we have our cooker appliances properly working. For example, if you use propane, you want to have your propane tank that's connected correctly to the cooking apparatus. We want to make sure that it sits very firmly and doesn't be able to tilt off the apparatus, cooking apparatus. And then most importantly is trying to figure out the amount of oil that we're going to use to cook with the turkey. For example, you should take your cold frozen turkey before you start the whole process and place it in the pan. And then we want to fill it up with water. All right? Then we want to remove the cold turkey and take a wax pencil or marker and mark the level of oil that we need. So when you do place the apparatus, the pan on the cooking apparatus, you can pour the appropriate amount of oil.
John, another thing that is used improperly during the holidays, and a lot of electrical cords are used for a number of reasons, but what are some of the proper uses of electrical cords that folks really don't understand, that you can actually put more stress on one cord than the wattage allows?
Very good question. Probably one of the higher percentage fires that we have in Wake County are due to electric cord usage. And we want to try to educate folks to use the proper cordage for your whatever apparatus or appliance you may be using. For example, I have some cords here that I brought to talk and discuss with the audience here. We have several different types of extension cords that people are used to using. The number one thing is important to know is that you want to make sure your cord has a Underwriter's Laboratory attached to the cord that gives you proper wattage. Every appliance that you use has a different amount of pull or wattage or on your cord. And if you overextend what it's recommended, you may have a potential fire cause. For example, you'll see a variety of different types of cords that may or may not be proper use in your house. You'll have several ones that have different adapters that people are plugging in too many appliances on it and are overloading the cord.
What about portable electric heaters?
You need to read the manufacturing guides when you buy an electric heater. They normally always say to plug it directly into the wall socket so it provides more protection, not into extension cords. There's also certain information about your electric heater. For example, we do not want to get combustible products so close to the heater element of your electrical heater.
Also, that becomes very popular during this time, of course, Christmas trees and holiday decorations, both inside and out. Folks will put a lot into it, but at the same time, there's some simple tips that they need to remember as well.
Well, that is correct. First, let's look at the Christmas tree. If you are using a live Christmas tree, we want you to keep it wet and watered properly. Second of all is all these lights that you do put up, you want to make sure that you're using proper connections and that your electrical panel box can handle the electrical load. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, then maybe you need to discuss this with an electrician. The final item that we see during the holidays are candles. And the individuals will leave these candles unattended and they don't have a brace underneath. For example, we highly recommend a metal pan or a ceramic that the candle sits on, so in case there is an accident.
And I guess the final question in this segment, one of the most important tools to keep anyone safe in a home are smoke detectors.
That's a very good point. The smoke detector is the most important item that you could have in your house. What else is going to wake you up at 2 o'clock in the morning if there's a fire in your house? We are really pushing, our theme this year is to hear the beep where you sleep. We really want these smoke detectors to work.
Great tips. John Calloway with Wake County Fire. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
When we return, we'll share with you highlights of the successful Operation Medicine Drop event that occurred not too long ago. Stay tuned.